Hey guys, this is your boy Lavtar, and I'm back at it again with another video. In this video, I want to look at 3 things to keep in mind while running an ultramarathon. I have run multiple 50Ks and am currently competing in a 100-kilometer run. There's so many things to look out for while long distance running. So for this video, I'm going to look and discuss items based solely on my experience and what I found helpful. I've broken it down into what I call the 3 G's. First is your gear. Your gear matters. We can make a whole video on the different types of backpacks, water bottles, other equipment to get. But in this video, I want to mainly focus on 4 items that I would include in my gear. First is the running shoes. Depending on how long you're running, where you're running, your running shoes might be different. You have what I call trail runners that people can get. People can also get the regular running shoes, which would be for shorter distances. So when I'm running 100K, what I found are helpful are the Hokas, the Ons, the Salomons. So there's different brands within each that you can look at. And one of my favorite ones is the Hoka trail runners that I have for my 100K. Why do I like that shoe? It's stood the test of time. I've ran 200K trial runs through these shoes, and I've put a lot of wear and tear, and they have still been with me. Just keeping that in mind of the geography of your run, how long you're going to be running with these shoes, you might want to invest in a really good shoe. Second thing I would look at is good apparel. Whether it's a breathable shirt, whether it's breathable shorts, whether it's having good underwear, prevents chafing and prevents scratching and itching of the thighs and the skin. Making sure you have good running apparel is crucial. I also will every now and then wear compression socks. So there's a lot of different gear that you can get, especially when it comes to your clothing, that makes a difference between you having severe chafing, you having blisters all across your feet, to limiting that amount. Another item in my gear is my first aid kit. You might get injured on the run. Whether you suffer a cut, you have a wound, you might need some Band-Aid, something to wrap around your leg. Having a good first aid kit is important. Making sure that you have a good first aid kit makes a difference between you getting disqualified and you pushing forward. It becomes more important for the longer distances to have a good first aid kit, especially because you might be in remote areas where the next aid station is 15 to 30 kilometers apart. So you want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row with your first aid kit, so that you can have a good chance of coming to the next aid station injury-free and then getting the support there you need. The last item I would look at, which I recommend everybody have, is headlamp. It's especially needed in nights. For example, you're running a 100-miler, most likely you're going to be running at night. Most likely it's going to take anywhere from 15 hours to 25 hours, depending on you obviously have pros who can run it really fast, but for most people, they're going to be running at night. And you need to prepare yourself to be ready for that. What do I mean by that? At night, your vision is so poor, you can barely see 2 to 3 feet in front of you. So having that headlamp with a good battery life makes a crucial difference between you getting injured. What I recommend is either getting a spare headlamp or having extra batteries in your backpack so that you can run at night and make sure that you're safe. The next G that I would look at is group dynamics. Running ultras, especially 100K and plus, is not as easy as just showing up and running. It's not as easy as you getting up in the morning, running that 5K, and you're good. Very few folks who are exceptional ultramarathon runners, who are pros, can just get up and run 100K and it's not a problem. For most people, they're gonna need support. They're gonna need probably a crew chief, maybe a pacer if it's a longer run, a medic. So they're gonna need these people in their group who have to be there coordinating with them, planning out the route, planning out what they need to do at what time. For Alberta, where my brother was my crew chief, my counselor, my medic, he was sort of doing all of those things. Having a good crew chief plays a huge part in your run. Whenever I would come to my checkpoints, my brother was not only there to check on me physically, maybe look at my feet, put some Polysporin on my feet, but he was also there motivating me to keep on pushing. There are times when I felt down on myself, man, I really, really wanted to quit. Whenever these thoughts would come up and I was sitting and I was talking with him, I found that it was in these crucial times where he kept on pushing me to be like, let's go, let's fucking go, one step at a time, let's keep on pushing. So having a group that you can rely on, that's there for you, makes a huge difference in whether you finish the race or not, and whether you give up. The last G that I would look at is grit. Whenever you come into these runs, there is an expectation that you've prepared. There is an expectation that you've prepared diligently, that you've worked hard, and that you're ready for these runs. Nobody, even the top pros, don't get up after being off for a month and go run 100 miles. Usually it can take anywhere from 3 to 4 months of training for a 100 miler to maybe 2 months for a marathon. What I found in the final few days leading up to the run, you have to mentally get in that headspace of becoming okay with severe knee pain, blisters, chafing, hunger. You form that resiliency throughout your training by having these things happen, the chafing, the blistering, the hunger, but at a much lesser scale. What I like to do is actively think of the worst case scenarios and how I would respond to them. What if I have severe chafing in my armpits, my legs, and how would I respond? What if I suffer a cut? What if I have an MCL or ACL injury? I know that people don't like to think about these things, but before you get in these runs, you have to get into that mindset of, I am ready, I have prepared, but I'm also ready for the worst case scenario. Because what it does is, when you're in those situations, you've already been through this mentally. So you know, most likely, what to do, what not to do, who to reach out for support, who's gonna motivate you, who won't. You develop that grit, that resiliency through your training sessions. Now, will there be something you miss? Probably. Maybe you get or you feel a lot more knee pain than what you expected to feel. You might miscalculate how the food sits in your stomach. You might feel sick. You might miscalculate, the blisters. You start getting a lot of blisters and it hurts a lot more and you're annoyed and you're pissed off and you're frustrated. This is where you have to believe in yourself. If it's getting really bad, the knee pain has gotten really worse, you can barely move, or you suffer some sort of injury, that's okay. People get injuries and that's part of the sport. So if you get DNF, that's okay. Come back, recover, rest up, reevaluate, come back for another time. We don't want you getting injured and trying to push on and now getting injured even more. That's okay. Just take a break. Sometimes you can push through it and sometimes you can't. Give yourself that grace. Once you're recovered and you're healthy, let's get back to it. Those are the main ideas I want to focus on, especially when you're running ultra marathons. You want to have your gear, you want to have a good group you can rely on, and you want to have that grit, develop that resiliency. Hope y'all like this video, and I will see y'all soon. Thank you for supporting my channel, guys. I appreciate it. Take care.